Well, hello, everybody. It is TexAgs Rewind presented by Yeti here on a Tuesday. A lot of topics on the program, but the thing that intrigued me the most was our producer/director, Nick Savage. Nick, you did a voice earlier today. You did the Sling Blade voice, and I really think you should kind of intro what we're going to have on the TexAgs Rewind in your Sling Blade voice.
I reckon I will.
Oh my
So
gosh.
we had TexAgs Radio, 3000th episode. We had Aggie Softball, Trisha Ford in studio. Conor O'Gara of Saturday Down South. And Tom Hart at SEC Network.
At what point during that bit did you realize I've gone too long doing this?
I didn't. I'll have some French fried potatoes.
Oh my. I hope we never do this
I can't
again.
remember what he says. How much they cost. I don't. Anyways.
I didn't know you were so talented, Nick.
Thanks.
I think you cost us all of our subscribers, but regardless,
No.
very talented.
No.
Everything he just said is on this rewind. Just watch it. Go behind the glass and say hello to Nick Savage. Nick, good morning, buddy.
Howdy, good morning, y'all.
What's going on with you?
A lot going on a Tuesday, it seems like. Got Pro Day, Aggie Baseball taking on TU. Softball's got a game tonight as well. So a lot of exciting stuff, but exciting for TexAgs Radio today, too. Do y'all know what today is? It's a milestone day for TexAgs Radio today.
I'm going to assume it's episode 3000.
Yes, you saw my graphic. Good job.
Well, I also know how to count because
Yeah.
I do my own.
You've counted every single show?
That I've been here. Yeah, and I think I've miscounted before, too.
Yeah. So this might be like 3001, but
It might be 2027.
that's very true. But
We don't know what Gabe did. We don't know what kind of accounting Gabe was doing back in the day. We weren't here for that.
Exactly.
I would go out on a limb now and say that I have appeared on TexAgs Radio now more often than Gabe did.
You started day one, didn't you?
No,
No, you weren't day
no,
one?
I was
Day two?
I was a year or so later, maybe more than that.
Yeah,
But when you factor in that Gabe's been gone for what now? How long have you been here?
a year and a half.
Year and a half. So Gabe's been gone that long, and when you factor in all of his extended vacation time, we call it Gabecation.
Yeah.
I think that I've now.
I'm going to be honest. You guys give him a hard time about that. I wish I had a Gabecation. I'd take him.
Oh, I would take it. Well, I say, first of all, I would take it,
And then you wouldn't.
but I don't even take my vacation
know.
now because I figure if I don't have anything special to do, why not just come up here and talk about sports?
Yeah, I mean, let's be real honest. The job itself, it's not the job, right?
not.
The job's the other stuff. The
Yes.
preparing for the show, the press conferences, which I enjoy, like going to the practice. That's the job. The show, that's just two buddies talking
Yeah.
on the radio.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick, 3 buddies. Sorry, Eric, 3 buddies. You want them to grow up. What does that mean? Just being in tune for each inning or...
Yeah, I think it's just so that first inning, being able to come out from a pitching perspective and put a 0 up. I mean, I think that's huge. And we're capable. I think that's where my frustration is it's not like I'm asking them to do something that they're not capable of doing it. And they've done it, and so I think that's one. I think the other one is, and we have shown some signs of improvement, but like when it gets really hard, like getting back up and continuing to fight, even if you don't win. But like we saw that on Sunday, like Julia hit a 2-run, bomb. We did not get shut out. Like there's some pride factor things that I really think is important, because as you start to have those conversations, you start to win games because they learn how to get back up. And even though you're down by 5 twice, we come back and win that game.
So I do a thing called Big Shot of the Week every week, and we choose stellar A&M athletes. And one of them this week was Rylan Wiggins, who has been phenomenal. I'm going to read this out to you, and then you take it. 10 games, batting .500, 11 of 22, 773 slugging percentage, 1 home run, 3 doubles, on-base percentage of .577, 3 walks, and only striking out 1, scoring 6 runs, driving in 6. That is a paragraph of what Rylan has been able to do.
And I think what's so impressive is if you look at her non-conference numbers, they were not good. But what Rylan, this is what a mature professional player does. She comes in every week, she sits down, she goes over like what she do right, what she did not do right. She analyzes film with Coach Harger. She's working on her craft. And so she never went down, I would say, like the dumpster, just kind of threw the towel in. She said, no, like this is not who I am. I'm going to continue to get better. And she's told me, she's like, I'm going to figure this out. And I love that piece of her, of that competitive fire.
But I also think it's just a press conference, and there's articles that are like, maybe there's problems with Bobby Petrino. Like, dude, I need to see problems before I write about problems. So I'm just going to throw it out there. Why is it? What is it about Jimbo that it seems to be a lightning rod?
I want it on record that Matt Hayes also said that Texas A&M could win 10 or 11 games next year.
Oh,
we need
okay.
that out there.
I didn't see that one
as well. He said that on Saturday Down South podcast, said
Okay.
that on our airwaves. I think A&M should be the most improved team in the SEC. I know when you win 5 games, one would suggest that when you're the team that returns the most production of anyone in the SEC, you should be the most improved team. I think Jimbo is polarizing with this situation because of the basic dynamics. Usually head coaches don't last this long being their own offensive play caller this deep into their career as a head coach. Seeing his shortcomings and seeing the money that he is making has everybody on high alert. His contract is unique. It's more popular than people probably realize. And the fact that there are Mel Tucker-like contracts, Brian Kelly has a deal like this, and that's the new with James Franklin has a deal like this. It is more popular than the average person probably realizes, but it's the combination of his contract with the lack of offensive success. The fact that he hasn't had a top 30 passing offense in college football since Jameis Winston left for the NFL. So it's seeing where this is going to align and seeing two guys, Bobby Petrino, Jimbo Fisher, two guys who have been in control on the offensive side of the ball on their respective teams for the last 20 years are now working together. And they have egos. They absolutely have egos. And seeing those egos at play is going to be great entertainment, no matter how it turns out. Because if it turns out great, then we're going to have to see Jimbo Fisher perhaps give up credit. Does he take credit? And that is why this is so fascinating. It's why so many people, myself included, are very interested in the developments in College Station.
Yeah, I think that's a well way to illustrate it. I looked at that presser last week, and I'm like, does he need to give a PowerPoint presentation? He was like all over the place, but Jimbo's always all over the place in his pressers.
It's true. It's true.
Somebody you watch at the college level, you're like, that guy's going to be a pro that didn't end up being like the player that you thought. Johnny's brought up a lot, Manziel, Jamarcus Russell. Those are busts, right? I'm not necessarily talking about busts. It can be. One guy for us was Leland McElroy. We thought he was going to be huge at the next level. Is there anybody that comes to mind that you saw at the college level like, this guy's going to be a player that didn't turn out to be that level of player?
Well, this is totally off the grid and for a different reason, but I think that professional athletes are built differently. Like the guys that are standout elite athletes are built different than your average athlete. And I'm leading into this a little bit. And I feel like the guys who are built that way, both mentally and physically, are more diverse than perhaps they even know. And I don't think anybody is still clamoring for Tim Tebow to be under center or to try and make it as a quarterback. But I really thought that he was a guy that could change positions and be an impact player elsewhere. H-back comes to mind immediately. Tight end comes to mind. And it's not just, it's the whole reason. I think by the time Urban brought him back, the ship had already sailed, especially the dynamics of that relationship and it's kind of the pressure that put the rest of the locker room, given where Tim was from an age standpoint. But I think if he would have made that move right off the bat, because of the impact he can have as a leader and the impact he can have on a locker room, the respect that he has from players, current and former, I thought he could have had a lengthy NFL career at a position other than quarterback if that's what he chose to do.
All right, we're going to close out. Erica Sars is at the News and Social Center. By the way, do you think Little Buddy, because I called Nick Little Buddy earlier, and he got his feelings hurt. Do you think that's a term of endearment, or do you think it's rude?
No, I think it's a term of endearment. You just calling someone your little buddy. I mean, yeah, I think that's fine.
But he's calling me little.
There's nothing wrong with being small, Nick.
Well,
hey now.
That's the second time you said something like that today.
What? I just said, hey now.
What did you say to Tom Hart?
We'll see you next time.